Your mind does something extraordinary every night while you sleep, something science is only beginning to explain. Think about it. Some mornings you wake up different, as if a new part of you was born during the night. That's because while your body rests, your brain is wide awake in its own secret laboratory, washing away toxins, rewriting memories, and healing emotions with waves so powerful they can reshape who you are. But here's the mystery. Across history, many have claimed that sleep is not just biology. Why did Aristotle say the soul is freed from the senses when we sleep? Why do Eastern traditions compare deep sleep to meditation, a state where consciousness touches something beyond the body? So what's really happening when the conscious mind fades away? Stay with me until the end because you'll discover how sleep is not only restoring your body, but reprogramming your mind and how to use it to turn every night into a doorway to transformation. Why does a single night of sleep sometimes change everything? You go to bed heavy with worry and yet wake up lighter, as if a hidden part of you worked through the night. We all know this feeling. Confusion turning into clarity, exhaustion into creativity, despair into acceptance. It's no wonder people say, sleep on it, because somehow in the darkness, the mind does what waking hours cannot. Ancient thinkers believed this was no accident. To them, sleep was never just rest, but a threshold, a passage between worlds. Aristotle wrote that when the senses are suspended, the soul itself steps back from the body, renewing the essence of life. In the East, Buddhism and Hinduism compared deep sleep to meditation, a state where the chatter of thought dissolves and pure awareness remains. Across cultures, the same truth appeared. Sleep was sacred, a hidden dimension where the spirit touched something beyond the physical. And yet, even without philosophy, human experience already tells us this. Who hasn't woken up with a new idea, a sudden solution, or a shift in perspective that felt like it came from nowhere? It feels as if sleep itself carries an intelligence, one that transforms us behind the scenes. So the mystery remains, why does sleep not only restore the body, but also reshape the spirit? For centuries, tradition gave us metaphors. But today, science is finally stepping into the mystery, and what it has found is stranger than anyone expected. Right now, while you sleep, your brain may be preventing disease, rewriting memories, and resetting your emotions. Sleep is not passive. It is one of the most active and mysterious states of your entire life. Researchers have mapped its stages: light sleep, REM with vivid dreams, and deep slow wave sleep. And it is in this deepest stage that the real magic happens. Imagine billions of tiny janitors sweeping through your brain, washing away the mental dust of the day. Fluids move through your neurons like a cleansing tide, flushing out toxins, including proteins linked to Alzheimer's. Without this nightly cleaning, toxins pile up, clarity fades, and over time, even identity itself begins to fray. But cleaning is just the beginning. Deep sleep also stitches your memories together. Everything you learned or felt during the day is reorganized, woven into lasting patterns. Miss this stage and memory collapses, learning weakens, focus disappears. Emotions are also repaired in this hidden workshop of the night. One night of deep rest can make a painful memory easier to bear, while leaving your positive emotions intact. That's why good sleep feels like free therapy, resetting the mind when nothing else can. And then there is the mystery that science still struggles to explain. EEG scans reveal that the brain in deep sleep produces rhythms almost identical to those seen in monks and yogis in profound meditation. Consciousness seems to dissolve, perception resets, and the sense of self becomes fluid, as if the mind were touching a dimension beyond the body. If sleep cleans, heals, and reorganizes not just your brain but your entire sense of self, then the real question is, how can you take control of it? Stay with me because in a moment I'll share a practice that turns every night into a doorway for transformation. Every night, as you close your eyes, your mind enters a hidden space, one that ancient traditions always treated as sacred. Mystics called sleep a return to the source, a moment when the self dissolves and something deeper rises. In Hindu philosophy, deep sleep was seen as a cousin to samadhi, a state of pure awareness beyond thought. In Buddhism, dreamless sleep was described as touching the stillness meditators spend years seeking. Across cultures, the message was the same. Sleep is not just rest, it is a doorway. Modern science now gives us a new lens to see this. In deep sleep, the conscious chatter truly stops. Neurons fall into rhythm, memories settle, emotions heal. From a spiritual perspective, this silence is not empty, it is fertile. It is the moment when the subconscious listens most closely. That's why sleep can become a practice, not just unconscious rest. Imagine that every night before the door of sleep closes, you plant a seed in your mind. One phrase, one image, one feeling. While you rest, the rhythms of your brain water that seed. And when you wake, it begins to shape how you see and act. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity. Studies on sleep learning show that what you introduce right before sleep is more likely to be absorbed. Here's a simple way to try it tonight. Sit quietly and take 3 slow breaths. Choose one phrase that reflects the reality you want. I am calm and strong. I welcome love into my life. I move through the world with clarity. Close your eyes and picture it as if it were already true. Feel it. See yourself living it. And then, as you drift into sleep, let that phrase be your last impression. The next morning, you may feel it in subtle ways, a little calmer, a little stronger, a little more open. With repetition, those subtle changes grow. Your subconscious begins to treat the phrase as truth, and your reality shifts to match it. Sleep, then, is not just recovery. It is a nightly doorway into healing, reprogramming, and connection with the part of you that cannot be measured but can always be felt. And the only question is, will you step through it tonight? Sleep is one of the greatest mysteries of human existence. Every night, we close our eyes and disappear into silence, only to return hours later, changed in ways we cannot fully explain. For centuries, this cycle was seen as ordinary, but when you look closer, it is nothing short of extraordinary. Modern science shows that in deep sleep, your brain is not idle. It is cleansing itself, reorganizing memories, and healing emotions. Ancient traditions add another dimension. They remind us that in these hours of stillness, consciousness brushes against something greater than the body. Think about it. Without sleep, the body breaks down, the mind fractures, and even our sense of self dissolves. But with sleep, especially deep sleep, we awaken refreshed, lighter, sometimes with insights that seem to come from nowhere. Isn't that already proof that sleep is more than rest? It is transformation. It is evidence that there is a deeper intelligence at work in us, one that science can describe in waves and chemicals, but that spirituality feels as the touch of the soul. And here's the truth that changes everything. If sleep is this powerful when left to chance, imagine what happens when you approach it with intention. Instead of collapsing into bed carrying the noise of the day, you can enter sleep as if it were a sacred practice. By choosing one clear thought, one image, one phrase, you give your subconscious a message to carry into the night. While you rest, your brain's rhythms engrave it deeper. And when you wake, the seed has already begun to sprout. So tonight, ask yourself, what is the last thought you want your subconscious to hear? Will it be the replay of worries and fears? Or will it be a message of strength, peace, or love that carries you into tomorrow? Share your answer in the comments because your reflection may inspire someone else watching this journey. And if you want to keep exploring these hidden bridges where science meets spirituality, make sure to subscribe. This is just the beginning. Each week we uncover more ways to live lighter, deeper, and closer to the truth of who we are. The night is not just for rest. It is for awakening.